Bruce Mclaren built the original M6 GT in the late 60s. Based on the M6B Can-Am car, a road-going version was also built but never totally developed. This is Martin Bolsover's example, based on his own M6B circuit car and rebuilt by Ron Hand. British Hillclimb champion for 3 consecutive years in the early 80s, Bolsover certainly knows his way up Shelsley Walsh. He's entered in a special invitation class for sports racing cars and sets the pace with ease. Into the narrow S's, the big 5-litre Chevy power machine looks really at home in the hands of the former triple champion. He unleashes the V8's power up the finishing straight to cross the line in a fraction over 33 seconds.
Martin Bolsover, you're back with this fantastic Mclaren. How did this car come about?
Well, when I finished hill climbing, back in the 80s, David actually and Ted Williams, friends of ours, had gone on to the circuits. So I followed, and they were running the Mclarens, which was a Can-Am car, which I campaigned until the early 90s. Stopped circuit racing, then I thought I'd want to keep the car, so converted into the GT, which was a lot of work and dedication.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it certainly was worthwhile because it's a stunning looking car and really a car before its time, wasn't it? Because Bruce Mclaren devised this in sort of the mid to late 60s, I guess.
It is really so advanced for its time. It's a crying shame that they never managed to homologate it, because it would have been the car to beat, definitely.
Absolutely, would have given the 917s and things like that a pretty hard time, I'm sure.
Well, maybe.
Good stuff. What sort of engine is in it? It's a huge V8 in the back.
Yes, a small block Chevy,
okay.
which is bulletproof, hopefully. Good American muscle power, which you can't beat.
Absolutely. And David, this brilliant Mustang in the background, reminiscent of Steve McQueen. Tell us a little bit about this one.
Yes, almost the same colour. Yeah, I bought it in '91 when I was still racing in Supersports with a Mclaren, the same as Martin, M6B. And I'd done some classic rallies in Europe with a Swiss friend in a Shelby Mustang, and I thought, this is quite good fun. And it all came about, Sterling Moss had one at that time, which he'd raced in the States. And he said, it's quite a good car, old boy, you want to try one? And then this one came up in Switzerland, and I bought it, and we've done lots of classic rallies, France, Italy, Spain, been over to Mallorca with it, and most of the time, not all the time, most of the time we've driven it over, competed for 4 or 5 days, and driven it back.
Brilliant.
So it's good fun.
Must be quite a ground eater on those sort of long runs that you do on that type of rally, I guess.
Yeah, it's fair. It's quite a nice road car. For 65, you've got to bear in mind its age.
Yeah, of course.
It was very advanced, and it's quite good, and it's comfortable, and not really a car for Shelsley, but it's great fun.
Absolutely.
Great enjoyment.
It looked like a serious handful off the line earlier today. You must be enjoying it.
Yes, traction off the line is the problem. Now, just to get it right, I had one reasonable start yesterday afternoon. This morning was rubbish. Yesterday morning was rubbish. So I hope this afternoon we can just balance it between wheel spin and grip.
Well, that's the beauty of hill climbing, isn't it? You've got to keep coming back and keep trying to improve what you did last time.
That's right. Yeah. Too true.
Good stuff. Well, great to see you back on the hills again, guys, and best of luck for this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers. Back to you, Jerry.
Prior to a very successful and ongoing career in historic racing, David Franklin was also a British Hill Climb champion. In fact, he remains the only driver to have won the British Hill Climb and the British Sprint Championships in the same year, 1978, driving a March BMW. More recently, he held Shelsley's classic racing car record in the ex-Peter Shetty European Hill Climb Championship winning Ferrari, the 212E Sports Racer. Franklin smokes the 4.7-litre Shelby Mustang off the line in true Steve McQueen bullet style and storms off into Kennel Bend. That long throw gear lever seems to be giving him a problem. Is the car properly in gear? But all seems well as he muscles the big car up into crossing and heads for the kink. Thundering into the S's, he manhandles the Mustang through the left and right and plants the right foot for the blast up the finishing straight. David admits that this is not the ideal car for hill climbing, but he never misses a chance to compete at the hill where 2 wins put him well on course for that British title 31 years ago. Also in the invitation class is this iconic 60 sports racer, a Lola T70. But things didn't go quite so well for Adam Jones at bottom S. As always, marshals and rescue teams are on hand immediately. Happily, the driver steps out of the Lola unscathed, and damage to the recently rebuilt car could have been much worse. This is going to mean a few long hours in the workshop for Adam, but he'll be back. So will we after the break, when we concentrate on the British Championship action here at Shelsley Walsh, the oldest and the fastest hill climb in the country.